Today, I'm going to be answering the age-old question of what is the best Nerf gun that you should use in a Nerf war. This video is going to be a little bit longer video with a bit more information provided and a little bit less of me holding physical Nerf guns. To counteract that, I will add chapters into this video so you can skip around to a certain portion of the video, or you can watch the entire video and absorb the most amount of information. Again, this will be a bit more informative. I do have a bit of a script and some notes I'll be reading off of and try to provide you with the best information that you should use on your Nerf war. First of all, we need to identify which Nerf war you're having. If I ask you that question, you kind of get freaked out a little bit and go, what type of Nerf war I'm having? This is why I'm going to outline the stuff. For the person who already knows what Nerf war you're having, this would be the point to skip to the chapter of the video to which I cover that Nerf gun. However, if you don't know what I just asked, stick around for the ride and I will outline all the Nerf wars I'll be covering and all the guns for that respective war. Starting out with the most common and most basic type of war, we have a stock Nerf war. Usually involves in a house with some buddies and some friends, not too many people in the confines of your house. Can be a couch or a fort war where you use the couches to build forts and you fight side by side. So I'm sitting over here behind my couch and you're over there on your couch. This is worth noting because it does change the aspect of it. You're not as mobile in these couch size wars, and you can have a lot of magazines or a lot of ammo with you in that one fort, and then you can shoot and have a little bit more fun. However, some are house wars and some are fort wars. Next, we have a modified war. Again, it's a little bit similar. Normally with some buddies, you got some friends. And the only difference is that you might have some slight modifications made to the guns to make them shoot a bit harder and a bit more accurate, in turn having a bit more fun. Only difference is you might be using outside a little bit more due to extra velocity, but that is dependent on what gun you've modified and how hard. SuperStock. SuperStock is more distance and preferably outside. You're not going to be shooting SuperStock guns inside, or unless your inside is very big, longer engagements. There's a lot of power, but usually you are still shooting full-length darts. There are no standards for these wars. This is just kind of recommendations. There are no set standards. It's just kind of ranges that we're given. So sometimes it will just be full-length darts, and that's kind of what makes SuperStock, is that you are still shooting full-length darts. However, some SuperStock wars do opt for the small half-length deafened darts. And there is usually about 100 feet per second muzzle velocity cap. As the dart leaves the barrel, it cannot be shooting faster than 150 feet per second. Moving down, we have UltraStock. UltraStock is strictly outside, no inside whatsoever, and it is shooting between 200 and 250 feet per second, exiting muzzle velocity. That is shooting really, really hard, and usually involves the use of homemade Nerf guns. I will talk more about them in a second. Stefan darts are absolutely used. A Nerf dart or a full-size dart will not be aerodynamically stable at a velocity of 200 to 250 feet per second. And again, homemade guns are built from the ground up. I will talk more about them, but they usually use massive springs, and the velocity caps in this Nerf war will hurt at close range. Finally, HVZ. HVZ stands for humans versus zombies, and we're talking about people, but half of them are playing as zombies. It's a lot of people. You won't know everyone. You're gonna need a lot of ammo, and there'll be a lot of distance. This is normally, you're not engaging at longer distances, but this will be normally taking place over massive college campuses, university campuses, massive parks, and you're not shooting at those distances like you will in UltraStock, but you will have a lot of distance to travel. So now, what gun should you use? What gun should you use depending on what war? Starting out, I will give a recommendation of a current market gun that you can purchase as of now, the release of the video. This will usually be a bit cheaper. However, I will give a second option of an all-time pick, all-time market gun that will be more expensive if you want to find it secondhand or go searching for one that's still new. So that's my two picks that I'll be giving for every war. Starting up with stock wars. What is the best gun that you should use for a stock war? This is probably the most anticipated thing. And the gun that I'll be recommending is the Nerf Elite 2.0 Double Punch. It comes with 2 magazines. It has a lot of darts included already, so you don't need to go out and buy. You probably will need to go buy some extra darts, but you don't need to straight away. You probably won't need to buy as many. It does have a competitive velocity, and it does have above average rate of fire due to its 2 firing trains. I will leave a card in the top right hand corner to my review of that gun if you are interested in purchasing it and taking my recommendation. There will be more information on the gun in the review. The only cons of the gun is it is battery powered and you may need some extra mags, including with some extra darts. The all-time market gun, I would have to go with the Nerf N-Strike Elite Infamous. This gun came out around 2018 and it comes with a good size mag. It comes with a 30-round drum. It is fully automatic, has a dart reload ability that really makes it stand out from the crowd. So I will explain that because I haven't done a review of this gun, so I will be giving a bit more information about this gun than the current market. It is a battery powered gun, the Infamous, but it has a dart reload ability. So it means you can actually reload the magazine of the gun from the back without removing the magazine. And the reason why this is really cool is you can scavenge darts off the ground and load the mag without taking the mag out. So it's good for stock wars because you don't have to carry a lot of extra magazines. most stock wars I've played involves a lot of dart scavenging. And, you know, when you're in dart scavenging, you know, you've shot a few, you've shot maybe 1 or 2 mags that you have, and then you're sitting there with the mag, and you're loading the mags in, and you put your gun in, and you start shooting like that. It does ruin the momentum of the game a little bit. But with this gun, since that inbuilt reloading system, it keeps the momentum of the game going, and it makes it much more enjoyable. So I think personally, for a stock war, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and people, and they all have infinises, it'll be a really great stock war. On to modified. On the current market gun, I'll be recommending the Nerf Elite 2.0 Stormcharge. Reason being is it's similar to the all-time best market gun, so I won't be talking too much about this. Again, I do have a review of the gun if you do want to check it out, but I will be talking about the all-time market gun and why it's so good. Then you'll realize why the current market gun is so good. The all-time market gun I'll be recommending is the Nerf Strife. Hope you saw that one coming. It is literally the best gun to mod ever. It is literally the best gun to mod ever. I've deliberately said it twice there. Let that sink in for a sec. It is really insane. It has close to 1,000 cosmetic kits available for the Nerf Strife. There are close to hundreds of performance kit for the Nerf Strife. It is simple. It's a simple gun. It used to be cheap when it was on the market, and for some people in some countries, I'm looking at you, America, these are like dirt cheap. You can actually pick them up pretty cheaply even today, but for places like Australia and other countries, it's a bit more expensive. So I just had to mention it is cheap. It looks great. The gun looks great out of the box anyway, with some cosmetic kits. It looks great, and the possibilities are endless. So I'll talk about it a bit more. The possibilities of this gun, I can't even get into. Put aside some money, and you can turn a Nerf Strife into anything. You can turn it into an absolute foam flinging machine with a third-party select fire kit, or keep it stock and turn it into an accurate looking Vector. Paint it, mod it, or do either both or none. It doesn't matter. This gun is the best. So obviously you can have cosmetic kits. My personal favorite is Vector. You can put it on the Strife, and now it looks like a Vector. That's a real life firearm. Or you can buy a third-party select fire kit and put that in the gun. Now you can shoot full auto, 3-round burst, or semi-automatic, and that insane modification you can do for that gun. On to SuperStock. So for the current market gun, I cannot recommend a Nerf brand gun for the current market gun. I simply don't think there is a good current market Nerf gun that would satisfy the SuperStock requirements. However, if we are looking for a current market gun that's not Nerf, I would recommend the Adventure Force Tactical Strike Nexus Pro Ultimate Foam Dart Blast. It is just called the Nexus Pro, but for the sake of what it is listed at Walmart and what I'll be listing it in the description, I will state the full name just once, and I just did them. Again, this isn't a Nerf brand blaster, but as I've mentioned, no current market gun is good that's made by Nerf. I will not be recommending one. I don't think there is one. You may want to adapt one yourself, but I will not be recommending. It is available at Walmart strictly, full stop. If you can't make it to a Walmart, or you can't import one from Walmart, you cannot get one. That is just what it is. That's why it's called an Adventure Force. It means it's strictly sold at Walmart. It shoots both full length and half length darts. It shoots just under the SuperStock performance FPS cap, and it has modding potential. You can do cosmetic upgrades on the gun, and I will say cosmetic upgrades because you don't actually need to mod the performance of the gun. The gun, out of the box, buy it off the shelf, does shoot at a competitive SuperStock market, a competitive SuperStock velocity. I will say that you can mod the spring, you can mod the internals to make it shoot even harder, but for my recommendation and what I think it's good for, SuperStock is perfect, and it comes great for SuperStock. For the people who want a Nerf brand blaster and can't buy a Nexus Pro like me or anyone else, I'm very sorry, but I will be recommending a Nerf brand blaster for the all-time market gun. So if you're looking for a Nerf gun for SuperStock, I will be recommending one here. And I'm recommending two actually. It is the Nerf Longshot and the Nerf Retaliator. Both are great. Both are a bit old. However, they both require heavy modifications to be competitive. I'm talking removing plunger tubes, removing pretty much everything to do with the gun. You're probably redoing the breech, probably brassing the breech, the seal, the spring, you're replacing the springs, you're probably putting a cosmetic kit on. Definitely both of the guns, a pump action kit. You're probably painting both of them because you're doing a lot of shell work. It is a very time consuming and money intensive process. The Nexus Pro personally, I think is better than getting a Retaliator and Longshot up to those standards, but I will be recommending them because they are probably the last two guns that can perform at the SuperStock level. Now onto UltraStock, we leave the realm of Nerf completely. No more Nerf brand guns will be recommended from this point forward. I'm very sorry, but unfortunately, if you want to be competitive in these wars, you probably won't be looking at a Nerf brand blast. However, I will still be giving good recommendations. The current market gun I would say for UltraStock would be the Worker Harrier. The Worker Harrier is an amazing performance stock. amazing performance. It's smooth. It's great operation. No need to do performance. It is an American third party gun, so it is an American gun. It is sold by worker. You might have a bit of accessibility problems getting the gun. However, I think it is perfect for UltraStock. It is really, really great. It's great out of the box. You can do cosmetic upgrades. You can performance upgrade it if you really want to. However, out of the box, it is perfect for UltraStock. I'm not going to give an all-time market gun, because the only reason UltraStock was even a thing is because of these guns that have been made as of now, recently. So if you just go back in time look for an all-market gun, you're going to get a gun worse than the worker Harrier. So that is my all-time and current market gun. It is just convenient that it is still on the market, so it's really great. I will mention homemades, because I will not be recommending a homemade. I don't know. I'm not in that genre. I've never built a homemade. I've never invested in a homemade. I've never built one, blah, blah, blah. But I will talk about them briefly if you want to get into that. You can build or design one. The only advice I can give is use a full-size K26 spring to be competitive. You can buy one, or you can find designs for one. If people are selling homemades, they probably won't give off the designs for it. And that means you can either buy from them or you can design one. So it is time consuming. It is a bit of money, a bit of research. I can't help you any further than the point I've given here. Okay. Moving on to HVZ, which I can recommend for. These guns are similar for SuperStock. These are very similar to the guns that you will use in SuperStock. And the current market gun, I will be recommending the Stormcharge again. I think it's a great gun. I think it will be perfect for a HVC event. Assuming you have some more mags and some more ammo, it will be perfect. Go a bit of a curveball in here. The all-time market gun, I will say the Straven. The Straven is a modified gun of a Strife integrated with a Raven, and I will recommend it. It is a modified gun. It requires 2 guns. It's a modification. I will see if I can leave a video or something to the modification process in the description below, or you can do some research on it. However, pretty much any good gun in a stock war, super stock war, will work in an HVC. Just make sure you have a lot of ammo, and that is why I can't really recommend a gun for HVC as heavily, because it's more about your ammo. If I was talking about gear, I could probably recommend it a lot more, but for the gun, just make sure it's modded up to that super stock level. So a Strife would work as well. A Straven is a Strife, by the way. It's just modified slightly differently. Any good gun will work, and then just a lot of mags, a lot of ammo, and I will not be covering that in that video. Okay, finally to the end of the video. Now for my conclusion. So I hope you found this video helpful, because of the world of Nerf can go quite deep. I hope that I've covered all types of Nerf wars and really helped you, no matter what Nerf war you'll be attending. I'd just like you to remember that all info given is my opinion, and that's from the bias of a performance nerfer. So I'm the nerfer who wants best performance. I'm not the one who's looking at cosmetics. I'm not the one who's looking at, that's a lot of time. I'm saying I can dedicate time. I will dedicate money if I can get a good performance. So that's my biggest bias, and I will set that out. I do prefer certain guns over others, but I feel like my opinion is quite objective and reflective of the Nerf community. We pretty much have most of the same feelings about certain guns, especially the worker Harrier and stuff like that. Like, you will find respectively that that gun is considered one of the best. A good rule to remember is the more competitive a Nerf war is, the more money or the more time you have to spend on a gun getting it competitive into that level. You will find that the worker Harrier will be quite expensive, or you will spend a lot of time modifying a gun that will be equivalent to that. You know what I mean? I hope I've covered everything. If you've come into this not knowing what anything was except a simple Nerf war, a stock Nerf war, I hope now you know every type of Nerf war now. If I did miss a certain type of Nerf war, I apologize. These are just all the common ones. If there's a weird game rule that you've made up with your mates, I can't cover that, obviously. However, I think I've given a really good recommendation for FPS caps and what guns you can buy and how to mod and stuff like that. So I will leave purchase links to current market guns in the description box below. If I can find them, I will try and leave as much information in the description as possible. I'll try and leave, if I can find some homemades or something, if I can find modification guides or stuff like that, I will leave it in the description box below to help guide you into starting being competitive in whatever Nerf war you see. Thank you guys so much for watching the entire video. If you just watched chapters, if you just watched the entire video, I'm thankful so much for you sticking with me throughout this video. I put a lot of time into this video, and hope you like a different style of video, but I think it needs to be addressed. What is the best Nerf war? So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.